Welcome back to another mini-sode, or as I've taken to calling them, Dharmasode. Today's episode is all about the importance of play in our lives and in our quest to find our soul's purpose. If you are a midlife woman like I am and really feeling all the changes that are going along with being in this phase and stage of your life, you know things are changing. They're changing in your body, they're changing in your mind, they're changing in your soul. And the idea of purpose starts to become so much more important than it ever was before. And we start feeling that something's missing, that we are unfulfilled. And sometimes we start looking outside of ourselves for reasons why we might feel unfulfilled, like, maybe in our partnership or something about our kids or something about our job that is the cause of us feeling unfulfilled. But really, the answer always lies within. Whatever you're looking for, the answer lies within. And that is true of purpose or dharma as well. We often feel unfulfilled because we are not fulfilling our life's purpose. And that's why we feel unfulfilled. And so I'm hoping that these mini episodes on dharma are really helping you to start coming home to yourself, to start peeling back the layers and really uncovering what you think your purpose is in this lifetime. And purpose it doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be, something really big and weighty and where a lot of people are involved. It can be very simple and small. We each have our unique place in this world and our unique role to fill. And when we're filling our role, no matter how big or small or what anyone else thinks or says about it, we feel deeply fulfilled. We feel on purpose and in flow, which gives us a great sense of inner peace and joy. And that is really what I'm seeking with doing these episodes, is to help you get closer to feeling fulfilled, to feeling that inner peace and joy that comes when you are living your soul's purpose. Because really what happens is inside our body, our intuition, our subconscious, our soul, these things start yelling at us from the inside. And the way it comes out, the way their discontent, the discontent from our soul comes out, is through things like feeling unfulfilled, unhappy, apathetic, maybe anxious, a little depressed or blah, becoming unhappy in those things I mentioned, like our relationships or our jobs. And that's your soul's way of crying out and saying to you, pay attention to me. I'm here. I need you to hear me. And I need you to get on this path because this is where you belong. This is what you were designed to do. But what we need to do is learn how to listen to that and learn how to follow it. And in the noise of everyday life, that can be really, really hard. And we have to carve time out to get into the quiet stillness that allows us to really hear what our soul is trying to say to us. So we are going to do that today through meditation. And we're going to be talking about play. But I want to mention before we move on to that, I will be starting up my Yoga for Skillful Living series again in January, starting mid-January. And I'm looking to you guys to tell me what you want to learn about. So if you're on Spotify, you can always comment directly on Spotify. That's great. That's perfect. If you don't listen on Spotify, then you can email me at katie@themomontheverge.org, or you can DM me on Instagram at KatieMomandYogi. But I'm thinking about 3 different things. One would be the 7 spiritual laws of success. The next one would be the yamas and niyamas, which are guidelines for living, yogic guidelines for living. And I've done some other episodes on those. So I will link those in the show notes so you can maybe take a listen to 1 or 2 and think about whether you'd like to take a deeper dive into that. Or are you thinking, oh my gosh, I missed the last one, the Dharma workshop, Discover Your Dharma workshop, and I'd really like her to repeat that. And I'm happy to also repeat that. So those are the 3 that I have been thinking about that have been on my mind, but I am open to any and all suggestions. I really want to do something that resonates with you, the audience. I host the workshop at my local yoga studio in New Jersey, but it is also available via Zoom. So you can be anywhere in the world and you can participate in this workshop. So please give me your ideas on what you would like to learn about in the new year, what you think would bring you more peace, more joy, more satisfaction, more flow, and just help your life bring more meaning to your life and more ease to your life. That's what I'm looking to help everyone do. So please let me know. Okay, now on to the concept of play. So play is something that we are innately born to do. We know this in children, right? We see it all the time in children. Children are just naturally playful. We also see it in our animals. If you have a dog or a cat or really any animal, you see that they play all the time. And I'm sure if you're a listener of the show or if you're on my Instagram page, you know how much I'm obsessed with my dog Hunter. We go hiking together in the woods all the time. He loves to play. And I also take him to the dog park all the time. And he loves to play with other dogs. And they run around. And if you don't know dog behavior, sometimes it can almost look like the dogs are angry or fighting with one another. But really, this is their form of play. And it's so fun to watch their body language as they play because they give different signals to each other to indicate that they are actually just playing and that there's nothing, there's no aggression going on. So we know animals play, we know people play when they're children, but when we become adults, often we lose that sense of play. We start thinking that we have too much to do, we have too many responsibilities and obligations to just be playing all the time, right? And so sometimes play gets lost. But in yoga, play is considered to be divine. And in fact, there's even a Sanskrit term for divine play, which is Leela. And it is the concept that we were born to play and that the universe is in constant creation. And part of that creation, we are co-creators with the universe, and we do that partially through our play. Because when we play, we enter that state of wonder and curiosity. We let go of outcomes. We often feel very grateful. We kind of exhibit all of those higher vibration emotions that match with the universe. And so then we can co-create with the universe. Aside from that very still philosophical standpoint, play is also just really good for us. It calms the nervous system. It helps us get in touch with ourselves. It is a bonding. It can be very bonding when you're playing with others, whether it be your kids or your partner or friends. There are so many benefits to play. And I remember when I realized that yoga, the class, like the actual classes that we go to, the asana practice or the physical poses, it's a play of opposites. And so in yoga, we take postures and there is a specific flow that is designed by the yoga teacher, but we are asked to be playful with opposites. So we're asked to go up and to go down, to breathe in and to breathe out, to be still and to be in motion, to stretch and to strengthen, to ground and to take flight, to open and to close, to have very serious concentration and to release all sense of focus and concentration. It's a play between effort and surrender. And it's a play between, and I'm a pun on the word play, but between work and play, right? So we're in a yoga class and we're working, we're using our body, but we're also playing because yoga is like a dance and we move through those motions in a dance-like motion, and we can play with how our body interprets those poses and how we get into them. And really good yoga teachers will always encourage you to play, to find the pose in a way that feels good in your body, or to give up the pose altogether if your body is calling for something else. And so this concept of play is always really forefront in a yoga class, or it should be. But what I'm asking is to bring that forefront into your everyday life. And When we get into play, we're really getting close, so close to our essence, because the things that light us up in play are part of who we are at our soul's level. And that's how it guides us towards our dharma. When we can start understanding what we turn to in times of play, because everyone's different what they enjoy as far as play. What we turn to in times of play is a guidepost on this journey towards your dharma. And when we learn how to play, when we learn what our type of play is, we can start incorporating that into all those tasks and obligations and duties that I mentioned earlier that sometimes make us feel like we don't have time to play. But when we're in our dharma, the work that we have to do feels like play. And work and play become partners instead of enemies. And whatever our goals are for a day, whether we're trying to get a work project done, we're trying to be a calm and present parent, if we're trying to just complete errands and get household duties done, if we're trying to fit in some self care, when we do all of that or any of that with a sense of play, then we don't just enjoy the outcome of those actions, we enjoy the entire process, which is another part of this concept of Leela or divine play. It's it's enjoying the process. You may get to an outcome that you desire, but you're not attached to that outcome. You're just enjoying what you have to do in the moment that you're doing it because you're doing it with a sense of playfulness. So, keeping that in mind, if you're like me, when I started on this journey, I remember hearing about Leela and the concept of divine play and the importance of play in my life. And I thought, oh, geez, I don't even know how to play anymore. I think I have forgotten how to play because I've spent so many years on this, hamster wheel of duties and responsibilities and feeling really buried underneath of them and not inserting play into them. So how does one play as an adult? Well, it turns out that there's many different ways to play, which we will go through, but there are some characteristics that all forms of play involve. And that is the fact that they're active, whether they be physically or mentally active. They're meaningful to the person who's engaging in them, right? So whatever you're doing is very meaningful to you. They're self-chosen, right? We feel called to do them from some sort of intuitive sense. They're pleasurable to us, right? They bring us joy and pleasure in the moment. They are filled with curiosity and wonder, and they often put us in a state of flow. They are adventurous, and I don't mean adventurous in the sense that you're jumping out of an airplane. I mean that we're exploring something. We're exploring the unknown in whatever way that looks like. So for someone, it could be jumping out of an airplane. For another person, it could be opening their refrigerator, taking out all the ingredients that are left over from the week and creating a beautiful meal from it. We are intrinsically motivated to do them. We just feel called or pulled towards doing them. And they can be very symbolic, meaning that when things are like treated and used in different ways than we would expect them to be treated or used. And we see this in young children all the time, right? They take whatever is in their arm's reach and they turn it into a toy and they use it for imaginative play. Right. So adult play can be similar to this. It can be learning how to take what's around you and use it in new and imaginative ways. I know that was a lot of information. You don't have to memorize it. You can always come back to it and chew on it a little bit more. I just wanted to put some parameters out there for people who are like, I don't know how to play. I don't know what play looks like at this stage in my life, but it's nothing you need to memorize or worry about. It's just a guideline for what play looks like as an adult. But now we will take that and put it to the side and tap into our subconscious to help us get the answers as how we play. as an individual. Let's take some time to settle into our meditation, finding a quiet spot, whether it be sitting in a chair or the floor, or possibly laying down in your bed or laying down on a floor. Whatever feels right to you and your body in this moment, I suggest that you do that. And whatever position you have chosen, I invite you to close your eyes, to start taking some nice deep full breaths. So we'll inhale through the nose, breathing in deeply, expanding your lungs in all directions. And then exhaling through the nose, feeling the wave of air as it exits your body. Inhaling through the nose again, deep and full. Exhaling through the nose again, feeling your chest and belly collapse as the air exits. One last deep breath in, the deepest of the day, feeling the diaphragm push down into the abdominal region. And as you exhale, feeling the diaphragm coming back up into the chest. And then returning your breath to its normal depth and speed, allowing your body to breathe you. Allowing the ins and the outs to come on their own without any force or control on your end. As you feel your body breathing you, taking a few moments to tap into the present moment, listening for sounds in your environment. Smelling smells that are around you. Feeling your body making contact with the floor, the bed, or the chair. Feeling all the different points of contact. Tasting the taste that's in your mouth. Maybe it's the last thing that you ate. Maybe it's morning and you just brushed your teeth. It's minty. Maybe it's coffee. And then even if your eyes are closed, tapping into what you see behind closed eyes. Maybe it's just darkness. Maybe there's swirling colors, little flickers of light. Just tapping into what's there. Now coming back to your breath, just feeling that inhale and exhale. I invite you to try to take yourself back to when you were 7 years old. Where did you live when you were 7? Who did you live with? Who did you play with? Did you play mostly by yourself, with siblings, with friends? What did you look like at that time? Was your hair long or short, curly or straight? Did you like to wear dresses, or were you all pants kind of gal? Just try to bring yourself back to being 7 years old. And then think about the things that you loved to do at 7 years old. What were you innately drawn to? Were you a child who loved to explore? You were always out in the backyard, digging up worms, climbing trees, riding your bike somewhere? Were you the type of child who just needed to move your body? You were always running around. You wanted to play sports. You wanted to climb trees once again, but not necessarily for the exploration, but for the physical challenge of it. You wanted to ride a skateboard or a bike. Were you a builder? Were you the kid who couldn't get enough of Legos or Lincoln Logs, or even taking what you could find outside in your yard or on your street and using it to build things? Were you a collector? Were you that kid who liked to collect rocks or action figures or anything else? You just enjoyed collecting things, insects. Were you a storyteller? Did you like to take something that had happened in your life and make up a story about it, create characters around it, and maybe write that story down or tell it to your friends or family, or just replay it over in your own mind? And did you love listening to stories? You liked to have books read to you, or you read them yourself? Were you a creator? Someone who loved paint and drawing and maybe even sculpting? Maybe you like to build model railroads or do crafts. Were you a director? That's someone who likes to pull other people together so they can organize and direct them into different activities. So maybe you were the person who pulled everybody together to play that game of pickup ball, or pulled everybody together to have a lemonade stand. Were you a competitor? Someone who loved competitive sports. You loved the rush of trying to win, of winning, trying to be the best. Or were you a joker? A joker is somebody who just likes to make people laugh. They really enjoy connecting with people through laughter. You were always the life of the party, the class clown. Everyone could count on you for a bout of humor. These are different ways that we play both as children and adults. So take some time now to spend with your inner child and see what she did to play. I'll call you back when it's time. your mind has wandered, just gently bring it back, bringing it back to that 7-year-old self and what she would do when she was playing. And I invite you to also feel what it feels like or what it felt like to be her when she was playing. Was there a sense of freedom? Did it feel light and airy? Was there flow? Time seemed to pass without any knowledge of how much time had passed. Did it feel joyful? Did it feel engaged, like you were using your mind in the perfect way for you? Who was there? Where were you? And what were you doing? You could say one thing to that 7-year-old self, what would you say? Would you tell her to never forget to play? Or that her playing was perfect and a part of who she was? Would you tell her that play doesn't have to be earned? And it can be a part of everything that we do. What words of wisdom would you give her? Whatever you chose to say to your 7-year-old self, I invite you to take a moment and say those words to yourself. The you are now. Placing your right hand over your heart. Tell yourself what you didn't want your 7-year-old self to forget. When you're ready, you can give your 7-year-old self a hug. Say goodbye for now and know that she's always there. You can always go back and find her. And begin bringing yourself back to the room, hearing any sounds that are in the room with you. Smelling any smells. tasting what's in your mouth. Feeling your body as it makes contact with the floor or the furniture. And when you're ready, slowly and gently opening your eyes and taking in the room around you. Play will connect you to your deepest self, to your soul, to your essence, and to your true purpose. Take a moment. There's no rush to begin moving your body. You can be still as long as it feels right and natural to be still. And then start adding some gentle movements to wake your body up and bring you back into the flow of your day. Maybe this weekend you can take some time to think about how play showed up for you as a child and how you can have it show up for you as an adult. Maybe taking some time to engage in play this weekend and see how it feels. And if these mini-sodes are resonating with you, then I invite you to go over to my website, momontheverge.org, and book a discovery call with me where we can get so much more deeply into discovering your purpose, finding out what your soul is trying to tell you, finding out how you can live the most fulfilling and meaningful life that you came here to live. And don't forget to let me know what you would like the next topic for Yoga for Skillful Living to be. I'll put a reminder of what the topics are in the show notes. Once again, you can comment on Spotify or you can email me or DM me. And if there's, the topics that I mentioned are not calling to you and something else is, then I would love to hear it. Okay, have a wonderful weekend and I will speak to you next week.